It's time. It is time for my completed pages. Y'all, this is freaking insane. What you're seeing in front of you right now is 40 books. 40 books. 40 books that I colored in for the month of May. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Not only that, I have more. These are 2 stacks. This is color by number. This is non-color by number. Y'all, I colored in more non-color by number books than I did in color by number. I also completed more pages in non-color by number books than I did color by number. I completed a total of 51 pages for the month, which is a record for me. I've never colored that much. Also, I colored in 21 non-color by number books for a total of 28 pages. I colored in a total of 19 books that were color by number and 23 pages out of there. We are going to get started. We are going to dive in. Buckle up your seatbelts. Get ready. It is about to be awesome. Stay tuned. All right, everybody, so let's take a look and start with kind of what some of my empties were for the month. I don't have very many to show you. I have a Browne Jot permanent marker. These are from the Dollar Tree. They've got like these super thick like nibs on the end of the marker. They're okay, but I finished that brown. I have a Towel Tree art marker in 37, which is a yellow, and I have a Cali art marker in B714, which is like a teal color. So those for me are done. From a statistics perspective, I track my progress every month kind of to see how I'm doing. You can go and see my goals video if you're interested in that. But for the month of May, I completed 51 pages. I gained 86 YouTube subscribers. I'm now at over 1,300 YouTube subscribers, which just blows my mind. My goal for the entire year was to reach 1,000. And then I've gained 59 Instagram followers. I'm now over 900 Instagram followers, which is just crazy. I also started at the end of the month tracking the number of new books that I got. So this was also a record for me for the month of May. I got 33 new coloring books. So I am starting to get a little crowded over in my coloring space. So I'm kind of condensing some things, cleaning out some things so that I have some more storage. But I've got like enough books to last me a lifetime. So I'm pretty good there. I had 25 people participate in my May birthday coloring hashtag. So thank you to those who participated. I enjoyed seeing your posts and commenting. My hashtag for the month of June is Jade Summer June. And so you can color out of any Jade Summer book and just make sure you use the Jade Summer June hashtag. I will see it, like, and comment on things. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start by looking at the non-color by number and then work our way into color by number. We're going to start with these 4 little cute Dover books. These are stained glass books that you'll see. They have like vellum pages. We'll start with this as Easy Kaleidoscope. These books were a gift from the amazing Anne from A Colorful Life. And so when I saw these books, I was slightly intimidated by them once I actually received them because I didn't quite know what medium to use on them. And I'm going to put like just a white sheet of paper behind these so that you can actually see how they turn out. So this is the first one that I completed. I used Crayola Super Tips. It's what I started with using on this, and I just chose 4 random super tips. I think I used a random number generator and just chose 4 random ones to complete this page. I also completed 2 more pages. I did this one. Obviously, this one kind of looks to me too much like the first one, even though they're actually different colors. And then I completed this one. So I thought the Crayola Super Tips kind of worked okay. They worked okay, but I thought that was interesting. I wanted to kind of try some different stuff as I kind of advanced along. This is the Little Butterfly stained glass coloring book. I will, of course, link all of these books and information down below in the description box. One thing I will tell you, too, they have a ton of different ones of these. I think there's only like about 8 pages in each book. So they're fairly short. I was actually planning on completing the Kaleidoscope book, but I managed to not do that because I knew I had so many other things I needed to color, but these are just real fun and easy. This book here, I used crayon, and that's when I determined that crayon actually works really, really, really well in these books. So I have some Crayola twistable crayons that I used, and I did this one. This one is a little bit unique in the next one I'll show you, because in the back of the book they actually show what you should be coloring the butterflies to look like. So if you want to color them true to what their actual color scheme is, it gives you some suggestions here to do that. So that's really cool. So I completed that page in the butterfly book. They have this in this one. This book is the Wildflower stained glass book. This one also has suggestions in the back for how to color the flowers. So I did this one. And this one is the Buttercup flower. And then in the hearts, I did a couple in here. And this is the first book I started using crayons, and I really liked it. So this is the, you didn't see the cover, this is the hearts one. So I did that page. I probably like this book the best. I think it's really cute and fun. And I did that page. So these are just really fun, simple, and easy. Just a really kind of fun and unique coloring experience. Next, this is Love is Like a Rainbow. As you guys know, I love to do kind of these painting books with my son. He has his own set of painting books. This is Mommy's Just Add Water painting book. It's really fun. You don't have to do anything other than just kind of add water. So it's not color by number, but it's similar that you don't have to actually pick out the pick out the page that you're doing. I should probably pull these tabs off, but this is the one that I did with my son while my son was working on his. This was the one that I did, and I really love this. I love the colors in this one because I love myself, and in return I am loved. And so we did this on May 23rd. So I haven't gotten through this book as quickly as I thought I would. This is in my 10 books to finish, so I still got quite a few pages left in this book, so I kind of need to get crack-a-lackin' on it, but I usually only work on this when my son decides that he wants to paint as well. This is Enchanted Faces. This is from Hannah Lynn. This is the little kind of travel size book. My husband got this for me for my birthday. This one somewhat intimidated me, but I'm really happy with the end result. And I did this one here. This one I think is called Cali Girl. So I did her hair blonde. I did, what did I do on her eyes? Jelly Roll Glaze, I think, on her eyes and on her lips. I did some white gel pen. I did some Divical Dual Metallic around the edge. I did some shading, it looks like, with pencil. I use my Prismacolor pencils a lot in some of these non-color by number books, so I would do kind of a marker base and then use pencil for some shading, and so I think it looks pretty good. I still think I need some more practice with Hannah Lynn's girls, but overall I'm really happy with the results of that book. Let's move some of these to the side. Next is another travel size edition book, and I really love this book. This was a gift from Jamie from Jamie's Coloring Love. This is Meet the Fairies travel edition by Tabitha L. Barnett. It's a whole bunch of cute little fairy designs, and I did just the front cover page here, this little fairy, and I used just alcohol markers. I did some stickles on her wings. I think I also had a very splotchy face. This paper is a little bit different. It seems like standard Amazon paper, but it's like ivory instead of white. And when I was doing her face, I got some streaking, so I actually used some palette pastels to cover that up a little bit, and I think it worked really well. I used some Divical Dual Metallics, Jelly Roll Stardust, and then I also think I used some palette pastels just to go around to kind of give that soft effect in the blue. So I did the title page there, and so each page in here is just a different named fairy, and so they're very simple and easy, but you can make them as complicated or as simple as you like. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. I thought that was really cute. Now let's get into the regular size book. So we will start with Chibi Girls Grayscale. This is the 4-in-1 book with 101 plus pages. This is a big boy. And so I did 2 buddy colors in here. The first one I'm not super happy about. Neither one of us were that happy. It was a buddy color with Yelvin. I hope I keep pronouncing your name correctly. We did a buddy color last month. We did this one this month, and I will link their information and their social media information down below. But we did this like little beach girl. I used a lot of Jelly Roll Glaze in here, and then I tried to do add some highlights to her hair. So at first I used white gel pen in her hair. I hated it. It looked absolutely just god awful. And so then I went back and put stickles, and I don't know, it looks really kind of funky. I'm not too happy with the effect, and I also didn't use a color palette. I kind of just went with whatever I, you know, kind of like just felt in the moment. And I'm not terribly excited about the color palette on this either. I thought her color palette looked a lot better. She really liked mine, so I think that's always kind of like how it is. I used a combination of alcohol markers on here. I used a whole bunch of different types of jelly rolls, including like Stardust, metallics, white gel pen, Jelly Roll Glaze, which have now just become my new favorite thing. You might be able to see some of the shine on that page. I think I did Jelly Roll Glaze on her eyes instead of glossy accents. I just did a whole bunch of stuff on this, and that's how it turned out. The next one I'm a little more excited about. I did this one with E.R. Joy. She's Elizabeth Rector, and I did this birthday page, of course, which seems suiting because it was my birthday in the month of May. I used glossy accents on her eyes. You may be able to see that. I used a lot of, I used some stickles kind of along the dress and on her accessories. I used some Jelly Roll Stardust. I used some glitter gel pen here. And I did use a color palette, I think, for this page, and I like how it turned out. I think this one turned out a lot better. It was a lot more effective. I think I even used some, I don't know if you can see that, some Jelly Roll Glaze on the glass here of, I just tried to do kind of like ice water. So I think this one was a lot more effective, and I was happier with kind of how this turned out. And so I think it looks really good. The Jelly Roll Glaze on the cake looks pretty awesome too. So yeah, so that was that, and I think that turned out really nicely. So thank you to those two ladies for buddy coloring with me. Next, I worked from Yummy Puns by Jen Racine, and this one I think I just did on my own. This was a gift from Danielle, Danny Buttons, for my birthday, and I did the I'm Kind of a Big Deal. I don't know why, but this page called to me as soon as I saw it, and so what I used for this page, I think I just used standard alcohol marker. I used some white gel pen, some Jelly Roll Glaze on like the shoelaces and on the actual like pickle itself, and I think even like on his eyes. Yeah, his eyes are even have Jelly Roll Glaze. And then I used some Ohuhu pastel marker just to kind of give him this dillish glow around his body and around the lettering there. So I think he turned out really, really cute. I love this book. This is just a simple like kids coloring book, but I love the humor in it. I think it's really cute. Chibi Girls Volume 3 by April Amber. This was another gift from Jamie. I just did this one on my own as well, and I love how this turned out. I did this little graffiti girl. I used some stickles, like iridescent stickles on the, I'm going to try to kind of show you a little bit of the glitter and things in here. Oops. Can you guys see some of that? So I used stickles kind of around the lettering. I did some, I tried to make the background look a little bit like worn, and so I put down alcohol marker. I used a colorless blender. I then put crayon over it to just kind of make it look a little bit, I guess like older and worn. I used some Jelly Roll Glaze and some Jelly Roll Moonlights to outline. I did some dual metallic, and then for her eye and for the like spills of water or the like puddles of water on the ground, I used glossy accents on those just to give them some extra like wet look to it. And I absolutely love it. And I think I chose my own colors for this. I don't think I chose a color palette for it because I kind of already had a vision in my mind for how I wanted her to look. So I think it looks super, super cute. I'm really happy with this and really happy with this book. I think this book is going to be just like a ton of fun. Has a lot of really, really cute characters in here, and they're all fairly simple. So I think you can make them turn out pretty cool looking. So that's that one. I also did, this is Kawaii Girl Grayscale, and this is from Star 8 Colors, or Skate Star Colors on Instagram. And so this is a really cool book as well. This is from Ava Browne. It's my first Ava Browne coloring book that I have owned. And I did this page with Crafting with Christy. I had a vision for this page as well, so I don't think I chose a color palette for this. and I really, really like it. We're both from Texas, so I was like, we've got to do a Texas page. She hadn't colored in this either. I used some jelly roll glaze like on the shirt. I used some stickles just for accents on the hat and for jewelry. I used glossy accents for her eyes and for the eyes of the horse. Other than that, it's alcohol marker, white gel pen, and this just reminded me of Texas and just reminded me of the rodeo, so I thought we definitely had to do it. And I think it's really, really cute. I think it turned out really, really good, so I'm really happy with that one. And thank you, Christy, for buddy coloring with me. Next, another Tabitha L. Barnett book. This is Broken Circles 2. And I did this page with the 3 little pigs, and I thought this turned out really cute as well. I used a lot of jelly roll glaze on here for the overalls and for the little mud spots on the pigs and on kind of the glass on some of the windows. I used mostly alcohol marker. I used my palette pastels to do like the grass. I wanted the grass to kind of be in the background and not stand out as much as like some of the flowers. I did some distress oxides around the edges here, and I wasn't as careful with this one because I kind of wanted it to look a little messy because it was pigs, and so I didn't like dab off before I did the distress oxides, but I really liked the effect. I just kind of went around the whole page and thought that looked really good. So yeah, so this is a really, really fun page, and I really liked it. The 3 Little Pigs is my son's, one of my son's absolute favorite nursery rhymes, so I thought I definitely had to do it. So I used other various gel pens. It looks like I did use maybe some dual metallic on the butterflies. I used some white gel pen. I used some moonlights. At all of this stuff, I kind of just threw everything at it, but I had a good time coloring this, so this was a lot of fun. Super, super cute book, and yeah, excited about that one. This is Whimsical Mandalas, Volume 2. This is by Tabitha L. Barnett, and this too is kind of a unique mandala book too, where it has kind of just some funky patterns, and then also like things in a mandala as well, like art supplies and stuff, which I thought was really cute. This was the page that I decided to do. This is kind of for autism awareness. I think Tabitha is a very big advocate for autism. She usually has in all of her books some sort of homage or tribute to autism in some way, and the symbol kind of for autism awareness are these puzzle pieces. So these are the different colors that are included in the autism awareness ribbons, and I actually colored each of the people in the image around somebody that I know that struggles and deals with autism and a diagnosis of autism. So I tried to kind of pay a tribute to them, and I thought this turned out really, really well. And then I also did some dual metallic on the outside. I think that this is the one that's kind of like black to red on the outside of the hearts. Not sure if you can see that very well or not, but really, really love this. As soon as I got this book, I was like, I've got to do this page first. So I thought this was great. Next, this is Floral Mandalas, Folk Art Design by Debbie Densham. This was her newest release. It's out on the premium paper. I have done a review on this book as well. And this is a fantastic book. It has the mandalas there, and she gives you some suggested color palettes down at the bottom. There were 2 pages I did in here. This one I did by myself. I used, for both of the ones that I did, I used the color palette down on the bottom of the page. And I love how this one turned out. But what was funny though was I had picked all of my colors. I had all my markers sitting next to me, and I'm kind of going. And then I get to the very end to where I'm going to do all these 4 flowers, and I was like, I haven't used the blue. So I went back and I decided to just use the blue on the outside, and I really love how this one turned out. I think this one turned out beautiful. And then afterwards I realized I think it's actually the cover image here for this. So that was a lot of fun. And then I did this page. This was a buddy color with Michelle Kimber. She's Michelle's Boxes of Hues on Instagram. And so this is the page we did together. I don't think she chose the color palette. I don't think she went with a suggested color palette. I did. I used the suggested color palette here. This was a little bit of a stretch for me because it didn't have any green, and there were like some leaves, and I was like, oh, what color do I do them? But I actually like how it turned out. I think it turned out really cool. It kind of pushed me outside my comfort zone, And then we have another buddy color on this page that we will be doing in the month of June. So I'm looking forward to that. I think I have finished like maybe 3 or 4 different images in here now, and I like how all of them have turned out. They're all kind of a little bit unique and different, and I could definitely see myself finishing this book. This is a really, really great, easy and fun book. All right, let's get on to, we're getting down to the bottom of the non-color by number. Now, I was gifted all of the miniatures books on or around my birthday, and so what I decided to do for all of them was that I was going to do the intro page to the book. This one had a little bit of a devastating situation. I started working on this, I hated it, and I ended up having to switch it up. So I will let you know, you'll see here shortly what I ended up doing. So this may look a little unfamiliar to you, that the intro book belongs to pages on the left side of the book, and that's because it is. I actually tore it out on the right side, cut it out, and then put it on the back of this page. What I had done was I really liked the coloring and everything that I had here, and then I started doing some distress oxides. And I had like a honeycomb, pattern stencil. And I was like, oh, I'll do like a little honeycomb and bees, because bees and stuff to me are also spring. But what it ended up looking like was that the bunny was in a honeycomb, and I had drawn little bees, and it looked like the bees were attacking the bunny. It looked gruesome. It was not good. And so this is what I ended up coming up with, and I'm actually pretty happy with it. I like the use of the washi tape in the background. I kind of learned that from Danny Buttons. She had a little tutorial about washi tape that I had watched. And then this is when I first got my Ohuhu pastel markers, brush markers. And so that is actually what I used for the entire thing here. And then I also used some Prismacolor colored pencils to just shade a little bit on the flowers and the bunny. And I used a little bit of white gel pen. I did stickles for the This Book Belongs To, and then some sticker letters that I had here. So overall, I'm very happy with this now that this is here, and I'm looking forward to coloring some more out of this book to kind of redeem myself from the massive mistake that I made here. But I'm still happy with myself because I was able to come up with something that I'm really happy with. And also I stretched myself. I tried to do something different. It didn't work out too well in this circumstance. But that's what this is all about, is just stretching myself, trying new things and being creative. And so I'm proud of myself that I was able to do that. 50 Summer Miniatures. I did this one, and this is the front cover page that I did here. This is definitely one of my favorites. I like the bright colors that are in here. I think for all of these, I pretty much just chose my own colors. It kind of looks a little springish time to me, but I try to kind of liven it up. These are palette pastels that I used in the background here that are these bright yellow color. So I thought that looked, the Jane Davenport palette pastels. Thought it kind of livened it up a little bit. On the cat, I used some Jelly Roll glaze on the eyes. Again, this is alcohol markers, mostly my towel trees I used in these books. And then Prismacolor pencils to kind of do the shading. I used dual metallic in the middle and some sticker letters that I had here. So I still think this turned out really beautiful, and I'm really proud of this page. I think it looks great. All right. 50 Autumn Miniatures. I think I did like a color and chat, maybe a tag while I was doing this book. I don't remember. But I did, this is what the intro page for this one looks like. This one again was almost borderline really bad. And I'm trying to remember how, oh, it was because I added all these like little dots to the leaves and stuff. And so it just looked really splotchy. And so I ended up going back and adding some stickles over the top of them, which ended up making it look better. I used a lot of stickles. I used Jelly Roll glaze on this. I used this kind of outside soft border. This is all Distress Oxide that I used, and I thought this was a really beautiful application of it, and I thought it complemented the colors really well. Some sticker letters here, and then also I used crackle accents over the acorns. So it's not like a glossy accent. Let me see, can I scroll in and show you? Can you see it maybe a little bit better? You see on those acorns there, they're kind of crackly. There's like these little lines around some of the areas. They dry in this like cracked formation, and I thought it gave the acorns just some interesting dimension. So yeah, so that was the page that I did for Autumn. This one I really love too. This page I did for winter. And I just wrote my name in this one in cursive. But these little dots around the outside are stickles, towel tree markers, Prismacolor pencils, some Jelly Roll glaze, some glitter gel pen, white gel pen. Yeah, I thought this one looked really, really cute, this little bear. And then around the outside, that is Distress Oxide. So it looks really, really cute. So it's kind of a nice intro into my little books. 50 romantic miniatures. This was actually the first one that I colored in. I was so nervous. I did these 2 pages with Misty from Country Gals Coloring Place, I believe is her name. Yeah, Country Gals Coloring Place on YouTube. She's at Country NCC on Instagram. This was the very first intro page that I did. Again, towel tree markers, some Jelly Roll Stardust, Prismacolor pencils for shading, and some Jelly Roll glaze. And so this is kind of how I started. And this one is the most simple, I think, out of all of the ones that I did. But I think it looks really beautiful. And I think it looks really good. So that was the first one. And then I also did this one with Misty as well. And I absolutely love this page. This is one of my absolute favorites for the month. It's like, I thought it kind of looked like a strawberry shortcake. So that's kind of what I colored it like. Again, towel tree markers, Prismacolor pencils, Jelly Roll glaze, especially on the drips and kind of on the glass serving plate. I used some glitter gel pen. I also liked on the whipped cream, I kind of did Jelly Roll Stardust, kind of like little dots, so it looks like sugar. Yeah, love this. Love this. Did this at the beginning of the month. Doing this page and the intro page here kind of gave me the confidence to keep going with coloring out of these books, and I really love how these turned out. So these were awesome. And then last, well, not last, second to last, the last from the ocean, or the last from the miniature series is 50 Ocean Miniatures. This book I really love as well. Here is the intro page here. This one got a lot of attention on Instagram. This one here I did in kind of these bright, fun neon colors. I knew I wanted to do something funkier in this book. I used Jelly Roll Moonlights, towel tree markers, white gel pen, Jelly Roll glaze, it looks like, on the eyes, dual metallic for the letters, and then this background here is all, it's a stencil, and I used Distress inks in blue and just did little stencils to look like bubbles. And then I don't know if you can see it, but I love this effect. I added, I used my clear Jelly Roll glaze and put little dots in each of the bubbles so they look wet. I don't know if you can see that or not. Can you see that even if I hold it up a little bit? I'm trying to look at the camera. I don't know if you can see that, but it looks like wet. It looks like somebody just took some water and kind of splattered it on there. And I love that effect. So this is one of my absolute favorite pages for the month. I love it. And I actually love the texture that the Jelly Roll glaze kind of gave the page as well. So this one was really fun. And then this one was a buddy color with Amanda Downey. And I love this one too. These are my cute little animals. This one, again, I kind of use some bright and fun colors here. I use some stickles on this one as well, some dual metallic for the horn. I use Jelly Roll glaze for the eyes of the penguin and the narwhal. And did I do it on the fish? I did on the fish too. Yet use some, no, not Jelly Roll glaze, what am I saying? Glossy accents on the fish and on the narwhal. Use some Jelly Roll Stardust just to give some sparkle to the ocean. And I just absolutely love how this one turned out. Back in the day, when there was like AOL Instant Messenger and stuff, when I was a teenager, the handle name that I used was Pink Penguin. I loved pink and I loved penguins. So naturally to me, that was like a just idealistic thing to call myself, and so I called myself Pink Penguin. So when I saw this page, this is the only page in the book that I think even has penguins, I knew instantly I needed to do pink penguins, and so I think they turned out really, really cute. So I love this page. I think it looks awesome. And yeah, I love the glossy accents. I just think that looks great. And the stickles in here, it's just so bright and so colorful. I love, 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 love this book. I think ocean miniatures and romantic miniatures are two of my favorite. The seasonal ones are good too, but I love like those kind of just non-themes and more like subject matter themes. This one was 50 Nighttime Mandalas by Kameliya Angelkova. I believe I just did this one in my TMI tag. And so I did the intro page in here as well, and I did it all in greens just as an homage to the birthstone for me. I did Emerald is the birthstone for the month of May, and so I did this one, so it's super shiny. I just did like, I chose every green marker and gel pen that I had and just kind of continued to swap them out, and so I think it looks really, really good. So I'm excited about this. I'm excited to get into the actual mandalas. This book kind of curled a little bit for me. It's not awful, but I may try to kind of put it between some other books to kind of flatten it out a little bit. But I love the mandalas in here, and I think these are going to be just really, really fun. So I'm excited to do those. All right, so let's get into my color by number. So I'm done with all of my non-color by number, so now it is my color by number. Okay, all right, first one that I have for you is Unicorn Black Background by Questopia. Kelly and I are working on completing this book by the end of the year, so I did my next 2 pages for the book. I did this one. Most of these I just did in regular alcohol marker. I may have a few like little white gel pen details, but nothing too serious. And then for the horns in each of the unicorns, I am using a different dual metallic gel pen to do the horns on each of the unicorns. So I did that one. And then I did this guy here. This was a funky color combination. But yeah, I did him as well. This one's kind of a little more like rowdy looking unicorn. And so I will do 2 more pages in this. So I think I have a total of 4 done out of here. No, I've done 6 out of this book. So I'm chugging along. Next, you guys will have seen my flip-in review on this book by the time this comes out. This is Interior Design Color by Number by Questopia, and I did this page here. Absolutely love this book. Think this book is fantastic. I love the fun, funky colors in this book. It's just like, it's something different for me from Questopia, and so I think this will be a go-to book for me for sure. So this one was really fun. Next was another new release by Questopia. This one's really cool too. I like the different scenes that are in here. This is called Spring Scenes Color by Number. I did this kitty cat here. This is another book where I wish I had a little bit more time to kind of, you know, focus on coloring some pages from some of the other books, because Questopia usually are books that I color in a lot throughout the month, and I just didn't get as much time to color in some of their books. This one's a big one. It's got a lot of images in here, and this is one of their large print books as well, which I'm a big fan of. So this is a really good book. Spring Scenes by Questopia. I did manage to get one of my Christmas MOSAIC color by numbers done. I have a goal to complete this book. I think I have 7 or 8 more pages after this. I at least was able to complete 1 page. So I did this one, which looks like maybe Santa with his reindeer and presents looking in a window. And it's like this little puppy dog like, hey, what you doing here? So I did this one. I do all of these with my Copic markers. So I'm getting towards the ends, but I'm really hoping to complete this book. I've done quite a few pages out of here, and I'm close. So this is my favorite MOSAIC book by Sunlife Drawings, so it's a good one. And Danielle has the Jolly Coloring 2021 hashtag going around. This is our animal stencils. This book was gifted to me by Danielle, Danny Buttons, and I did this bull. I think I used, what did I use? Permanent markers maybe in here. And I love it. I did this one because I'm a Taurus. And so I thought like, okay, well, this is like a bull. And so I thought this was perfect for my kind of astrology sign. What am I trying to say? Zodiac sign. And so I love this because I didn't realize how colorful it was going to be. Actually, this is one of the pages I was least looking forward to coloring out of, and I love it. And so I'm like, oh, now I remember why I had this book on my wish list. I think I've seen some people complete this book, and it's just really, really bright and colorful. Again, Sunlife Drawing does an amazing job with their color. and their art. And so I think this is illustrated really well, and I'm looking forward to coloring more out of here. This is a really, really fun, fun book. Speaking of animal stencils, this also was another book that I reviewed for Sunlife Drawing. This is their color by number Animal Stencils, an older book, but on the premium paper. So kind of like that fancy glossy paper. And I did this cheetah guy here on the white background. And I think I used my Copic markers to color this. And then I also did this cool looking swan. I mean, it's like a super colorful looking swan. So I know it looks really cool. I thought this book was great. So you can see my review. I just posted a video on a review of this book. So go check it out if you're interested in seeing more out of this book. Sachdeva, this book was gifted to me as well from my kind of around my birthday. This is from Elizabeth Rector. Sachdeva's book, Festive Christmas. This is 50 pages color by number, and I did... So there was a lot to choose from since there were 50 pages, and I did this one here. This is the style that I like to do in these books that have like all of these like wavy lines that almost look like puzzle pieces, where I color kind of flat, straight color, and then I go in with my brush markers, my Cali Art brush markers, and draw these outlines. And I think it just creates such a unique and fun image. I love the illustrations from Sachdeva. So again, this was just perfect for me, this book, and certainly will give me more Christmas pages to color in throughout the year. So very happy with this book and excited about this one. So thank you, Elizabeth. I go through a lot of Sachdeva. This is Cakes and Candies color by number. This was gifted to me by Emily at Color Me Impressed. I did a buddy color with Michaela Renee, and so I did this page, which is really fun. I love coloring food, so this book is perfect for me. And so I don't know if you can see the Jelly Roll glaze on this picture. I used a lot of Jelly Roll glaze just to make it look a little bit wet. I used my Jot alcohol markers on here, or Jot permanent markers from the Dollar Tree. You can see they can kind of streak, no matter kind of how good of a job you end up doing to color it. They can kind of streak, but I didn't really care. I loved the bright colors. The packs of Jot, I kind of thought I would never use the Jot permanent markers, to be honest, but when I broke them out for another coloring page and saw just how bright and colorful they were, I was like, yeah, I'm going to use those more. And then I did this one, which is kind of like, looks like this birthday cake. This I did on my live, my very first live that I did on my birthday. I used Jelly Roll glaze, white gel pen on here. I also used some glitter markers that I got from the Dollar Tree. And so those are really fun and cool. And yeah, I think this turned out really great. I'm really happy and proud of this. And so this was kind of an homage to my birthday and my very own birthday cake. So that was cool. I also used, this is the Love Trees color by number by Sachdeva. Real cute book, kind of simple book. Again, this was gifted to me by Meg from Meg's Art Atrium. And so use those same kind of bright Jot permanent markers in this one too. Again, it creates a bit of streaking, but I don't mind it so much. These were really simple coloring pages. It's not like you spend a ton of time working on these, and they're so juicy. They kind of give this crinkle to the paper. You either love that or hate it, and I love it. So I thought this was really cute, these two little whales. So yeah, so did that one. So thank you, Meg, for that book. Ooh, I feel like I'm getting out of breath with all this talking. Cute Cats color by number by Sachdeva. This is one of his new releases this month. Super cute book. I've done a flip-in review of this one, and of course I did this Party Cats as, again, a tribute to my birthday month, and on this one, alcohol markers. And then I think I used crayons. Yeah, I used crayons for shading and then some white gel pen to add details. I also did crayon for the background, and then this is like confetti crayon. So there's kind of like multiple colors in one. And so that kind of gave a neat and interesting effect. So yeah, so I did this one, and I thought that turned out really, really cute. So yeah, if you don't want to just use alcohol marker for your background and go through your markers quickly, you can definitely do that. All right, I pulled back out Magical Unicorn color by numbers. There is a person on Facebook that showed this technique, or showed how she had utilized this technique on Facebook. And I'm so sorry, I don't remember what her name is right now, but I was like, ooh, I need to use that in this book. The very first page I did in this book, I just did in water-based marker. These pages are double-sided, and I wasn't terribly excited with how streaky it ended up looking. But then I did this. So what she had done, and she did this actually in like, did she do it in Mermaids? Let me find it. She had actually done it in this book, and I'm going to try that out next, is the Mermaid Stained Glass Color by Number. She had done where she had used water-based marker and then gone in and did crayons on kind of like the inside to create that shading. So I tried it out on this, and I used Crayola Super Tips to do the outlines, and then I used my twistable crayons on the inside, and I love how it turned out. I thought this turned out really, really cute. This will definitely be the technique I use moving forward. I love this book so much, but there are just way too many situations where there's just not they're all double-sided, so I have to use something that's not going to like bleed through. So yeah, really, really love this technique. I thought this turned out really cute, and I will definitely utilize this moving forward. Finally, I actually colored in this book, Adorable Nature Cross-Stitch Style Adult Coloring Book. Danielle, Danny Buttons, has continuously reminded me of this book. I got this book as a part of my reward system, and then I just never colored in it. So I decided to color in it, and I can totally see the hype for it now. These are really simple. They don't take very long to do, and it's kind of a fun and just different technique. It's on that premium paper as well, which creates a really cool effect. So I did this page here, which is Whistling Thistle, and you'll see why. I'm actually working back to front on this book, and you'll see why in a minute. So you see how it bleeds through. I think it's very, very hard if you're working from front to back, especially because the color key actually changes from page to page. So you definitely want to, and the little symbols that are inside of these X's are so small. So I definitely decided, and I had seen a whole bunch of people review these books, you definitely want to work from back to front in these if you're using alcohol markers. And then I did this one, The Dearest Thing, which this one took a little bit longer because obviously it's a full page of it. But yeah, I thought this turned out really great. I'm really happy with it. And I'm excited to color more in here. She has come out with so many more books. I think Alice Mills Publishing is who does these books, and I want to say there's like a series of 4 or 5 of them now. So when I got into this, I think there were only 2, maybe 3 of them, but there's quite a few of them now. I have them all on this is book number 1, I guess is the very first book that came out in the series, but now I'm kind of wanting to collect all of them, except I have just so many coloring books, I really don't need any more. So I may just make it that once I finish this book, I can get the next one. So really love that one. I also got back into, I really tried to do some of the books I hadn't touched for a long time, and I'm so glad I did that. This is a really great book. I hate the front cover is ruined, but I absolutely love it. If you guys don't know, some of these Mindware books, they have these like glitter pens that come with them. It's like a glitter glue, but it's like a cheap Stickles that come in this little pen, and it's attached to the front, and in order to get it out, you literally have to rip up your front cover, and I hate it. I have written Mindware about it to let them know about it, but I hate that it ruins this front cover, because the front cover is really beautiful other than just that. So it just kind of ruins it for me. So I've done, this was the first page that I had done in this, and I tried to use the little glitter glue that they had, and I hated it. And so also, if you're not familiar with these books, it comes with the first page is color by number, and they have the exact same image that is like with no numbers. I don't really understand it, but it is what it is. I do really like the illustrations and the colors used in this book though, so I really like it. So I did this double page spread, my very first double page spread that I have ever done, and I absolutely love it. It didn't take me too long either. So I really, really love it. And what I use instead of using their just cheap pens, I just use Stickles in the areas that need the glitter. So the glitter, it has like a little star on it, and so I use the glitter for that. So this says Never Stop Exploring. Lots of fun in bright colors in here. Absolutely love it. This is a great page. I'm a huge fan of it. So I'm glad I got back in this book, and I'm glad I have another page completed in here. I think this is on my 10 books to finish, isn't it? Maybe. I don't know. I think it might be on 10 books to finish, but there's only like, I think there is, because I have this little sticky on the back. So now I only have 9 images. There's only like 11 or 12 images in here. So they go by pretty quickly. I also had to rip out the front page so that I knew my color matches. I use my towel tray markers in here. It's a pretty big color palette in there, so you need a pretty big marker set. Next, this is the first page I completed out of the Color by Number, The Simple Joys of Life by Susan Lind. This was a book that was gifted to me, I think, by Emily, from Color Me Impressed. And so I did this page with the balloons. I'm not sure how I feel about it. So the color palette is extremely pastel, and so I really don't have a lot of like pastel-y markers, and so I decided, well, hey, I'll just break out my colored pencils. So I broke out my Prismacolor Premier pencils, and then I kind of did this thing where I did, you know, like a darker outline and then just kind of lightly shaded in. And I don't know if I like how I did the effect. Now, these pages are single-sided. I think moving forward, I'm going to try to use permanent markers and maybe my towel tree markers and see how I can do with that and just deepen up the colors a little bit. The thing is, you have to have a pretty wide color range, because like in this one there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They use 5 different blue colors in here. So you do have to have a pretty big marker set in order to be able to color in this book too. So I'll pick another page and try to work on it and see how I do with that. They have some like examples in this book of colored pages in here, and there's at least 1 or 2 that are colored with markers. Yeah, like this one is colored in markers, but obviously they had to deepen the colors in order to be able to do this. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is deepen the colors and then just kind of see how I like it. So, but I'm glad to have a page done in this book. And I had a lot of fun coloring it, which is what's most important. I also pulled out my Posh Creations Color by Number because this book too had kind of just been sitting there. So I used that same technique that I used with the Unicorn book, where I used Crayola Super Tips to do the outlining and then colored in with crayon. And I really like how the crayon works in this book. This paper is a little bit different, and that's kind of why I was interested in using it. It's really, really like smooth paper. And alcohol marker acts a little funny on this paper. Like this one was done in permanent marker. I don't know if you can tell, but it's kind of splotchy. Like there's definitely like some streakiness. Like it's really, really thirsty paper. So I use this technique in this one, and I really like how this turned out. So I will probably use the crayon and Crayola Super Tips in this book moving forward too. So, and these are a lot simpler and a lot easier. So really just fun and cute book. All right, we are getting down to the bottom. Let's move on to Belba Family. This was another gift. This is a Square Mandalas Happiness, and I did this page here. I use the cross stitch method on this. You guys know 3x3mm are not like my total jam. These are great because they're a lot smaller, so it's a lot easier to complete them. And so this, I think, is the color image. I like how the cross stitch method looks in the 3x3, and so I look forward to doing some more in here. I thought this was really fun. Stone Mosaics book 3. This is book number 3. I didn't get to color out of book 2 this month. That is on my books to complete, and I'm getting really, really close on that book too. But I did do one in here, and this was a buddy color. I did this one with Pickwick Turtle, and she chose this page, which are these just beautiful lily pads. I did this just with alcohol marker, and I like how it turned out. I think it turned out really great. 2 more, guys. Oops, my books are starting to fall. An avalanche. All right, this one was a review that I did. This is the 3-color series by Belba Family. This is specifically centered around travel. It is May, so you have to have mermaid, and so I, of course, did this lovely lady here. This is literally called a Little Mermaid, so I chose 3 colors I associate with a Little Mermaid, which are like a light purple a red, and then a dark green. I did this with, I think, my Bic Intensity markers using the dot method, and I think it turned out really cool. I love the 3-color series. These are these small dots, but it's literally only 3 colors. So these go by in less than an hour and have a nice variety of images. And of course, you can tell the image doesn't take up the whole space. So these really don't take very long to color and are a lot of fun. So I highly recommend this book if you're gonna kind of jump into the 3x3s for the first time. All right, and last but certainly not least, this is Cute Dragons Color by Number by Prachi, Dewan, Sachdeva. This is her newest release. You will have also seen my review just recently on this book. And I did this page here. This is one of the last that I did for the month. It kind of just reminded me of the upcoming summer, and I thought this dragon was cute. And so, yeah, so that is it for my coloring pages. All right, I want to thank you all for joining me on this journey. This has been an unbelievable birthday month. I've had so much fun. I have stretched myself. I have tried new things. I have enjoyed thoroughly every minute. So I hope you all have a great rest of the week. I will see you again soon. Take care, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.